What up, everybody? It's your boy Asian. We're back here once again. I came to you guys shortly after last night's national game on CBS. Tony Romo and Jim Nantz calling the Steelers game and gave my quick reactional thoughts and had another day to break down and talk to you guys about how I felt about this game. But as we know, the Steelers got a humiliating loss. National television 26-7, and the Bills scored 26 straight points on the Steelers and embarrassed this team once again, and this team looks lifeless. They don't fight through adversity. They've quit. As you can see in most of these games, there's 4 games this year where they've had to lead at halftime and has lost. That is a problem. Coaching, the messaging, guys just believing and doing what they need to do. Also, just at this point with the franchise, we need a complete overhaul. And when I say complete overhaul, it doesn't necessarily mean fire Mike Tomlin. We'll get to that in a second, but I've talked about this. Mike Tomlin needs to adjust if he wants to be there. And maybe he, in his mind, might think that it may be a time for a fresh start, because I think that's the only way that he and the Steelers part ways, if they mutually agree that they go their separate ways. But Mike Tomlin will be a guy, I believe, if he does leave the Steelers, then he will be covered around the league. But maybe it might be time for both sides for a fresh start. But at the least, this coaching staff needs to be overhauled, and this offensive scheme needs to be overhauled. This defensive scheme needs to be overhauled. I've talked about it. I've been a little more patient on the Terrell Austin thing, but he needs to go. Schematically, it's not working. Defensively, I've talked about it. Not moving TJ Watt around, Nick Herbig around, running a little more twist. You don't have to be crazy exotic, but do something a little different to keep the Buffalo defense guessing. Buffalo's defense hasn't been good against the run. They shut down the Steelers, and they committed to it, and they were aggressive. We know, not in this game, I talked about it, gave 249 rushing yards. That is a stadium record extra for an opposing team. That is unacceptable to get punched in the mouth. I know no Derek Harmon played, but Cam Hayward, Yaha Black, Keanu Benton, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith didn't play, Nick Herbig, but this D-line got punched in the mouth and they had no answer for it. Josh Allen just did what he did. He played superhero and carried his team. Him and James Cook, like I talked about, 32 for 144. And they loved touring right off the right side, and they were doing damage, especially on that first play of the game where James Cook goes for 19 yards. Joey Porter Jr. makes a tackle. Patrick Wing gets hurt, like I talked about. So it is. You got Jalen Ramsey playing safety. I think he was okay. Darius Slay was inactive. We finally got Asante Samuel off the practice squad to come play for us. But it is just a mess schematically. And when they get down, they cannot seem to rally the troops and get it together for whatever reason is going on. And I have no answer for it. Rather than it needs to be overhauled, because we continue to get embarrassed on national television. Every big game we played this year, that team, we have been straight trash. Read a couple stats. I'm gonna keep going out there, but that's not the point. The first play of 20 yards or more didn't happen for the Steelers until under the 12-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Yes, that is a crazy stat. And this is even crazier stat. I hear the stat a lot. 66 consecutive regular season games with seven or fewer points in the first quarter. That is all under Mike Tomlin and tied for the longest streak by head coach in NFL history. We just never come out and be aggressive and get straight to the point and put our necks on team. Everything always has to be freaking difficult. Really what I get talked about is Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, the game changed after the fact that Aaron Rodgers took the sack on Bosa, scoop and score by Christian Benford, and the game just kind of unraveled. Aaron Rodgers was awful in this game, holding the ball too long. His nose was bloody after he took the sack. 10 for 21, 117, 1 sack, no touchdowns. He's holding the ball too long. He cannot run like he used to in his early days, and even 5-6 years ago. It's just not there. He's holding the ball. Then the thing what pisses me off, and I continue to say this, and even did it in the post-game conference, you keep showing your teammates up, and every time someone makes a crucial mistake, you have the demeanor. It's terrible. The body language is bad. And you just continue to show your teammates up and throw them under the bus and yell at them for running the wrong route. Hey, listen, you got to take accountability to it. And he has not taken no freaking accountability at all this season. Everything is everybody else's fault, and it pisses me off and it frustrates me that he continues to do such a thing, because you cannot do that, bro. You need it. That's gonna continue to eventually divide the locker room. And I get it, guys make mistakes and you get frustrated, but there's ways to go about it. Like, Like guys checking in the routes and not seeing things. Him and Jonnu had a miscommunication when Jonnu ran out and he wanted them to check the inside route, and it's just you can't continue to do that. And he even had a comment about getting ready for the week. He says when there's film sessions, everyone shows up. When I check to a route, run the right route. So basically, he's saying what he do is already hijacked the offense. He already, the Steelers have let him do that, and then he doesn't want to take the accountability for when he makes a mistake as well, when he's wrong. That shit just won't cut it, man. And if he wants to talk about guys running the wrong route, he doesn't get guys the football. Pat Freiermuth, who we are paying $48 million, once again, is non-existent. 0 catches on 0 targets. He's a middle of the field guy he's our best passing tight end, not blocking, best pass catch tight end. Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson combined for a whopping 3 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards, and DK Metcalf once again is another bad game. 3 catches for 32 yards. This is the 5th straight game where he is under 50 receiving yards. We gave up a second-round pick and paid this guy over $30 million, and we cannot find a way to get them involved and use him right. It's not looking good offensively. And as far as the rushing game goes, it was even worse, and that's what we're supposed to be good at, but we failed at that, which is crazy to me. Jaylen Warren, 10 for 35 and a touchdown. Gainwell, 5 for 20. Caleb Johnson, 2 for 3 and then late in the game. And just a minute, so 18 carries for 58 yards on 3.2 yards per carry. Just pathetic. I know Spencer Anderson and Andrews Pete played because Broderick Jones is now done for the year with the neck injury, which was believed to be more serious. And now Steelers have to figure out what's going on with that because now his 5th-year option is going to be coming into play. So there's nothing with that, and that's not nothing good. But this offense is pathetic. There's no creativity, nothing. Dink and dunk. Aaron Rodgers sits in the pocket, hikes the ball, and just throws it in the flat and does nothing. So I know Mike Tomlin heard the fire Mike Tomlin chants during Renegade. So, everybody's fed up. Everybody is frustrated. You know what I'm saying? So after starting 4-1 on the season, we are at 2-5. So there's a lot that needs to be done. And even after all that, this game was still 10-7 after that Aaron Rodgers played. The team fell apart. It was just disappointing that the defense didn't do what they needed to do, especially like I talked about with them missing both their tackles. It just boggles my mind, man. And it is so frustrating. Even after all of that, the Steelers still have a chance to be in first place. After this weekend, if they go into Baltimore last 2 games last season absolutely steamrolled them, and they haven't played great football. The AFC North is terrible, which keeps them in it. The Bengals even, I think, are in contention with Joe Burrow back, and they got a big win against Baltimore last week, so they're only 2 games out. And to check the spread, it's 6.5-point underdogs, and I don't know if I'm not confident going into this weekend unless something changes. Something for seeking change and this team gets their act together and they can play through adversity and muster up the strength to be better and more consistent. I just don't see it. They haven't shown it the entire season. We're old on defense. We're expensive. We don't have any explosivity on offense. Everything is just difficult. It's just we are trajectory playing down right now, and it is not looking good. And the season may completely fall apart. And that's what it feels like. It feels like the season is falling apart, and it feels really different than past seasons that I've seen where we've been able to rally the troops. I just don't think it happens. Can it? Yeah. Would I be surprised if it happened? No, but I'm not optimistic about how the rest of the season is going to finish. Like I said, this game is crucial. If they win this game, they'll be in first place against Baltimore because this will be 1 of 2, and they played them again January 4th, the last game of the regular season. So then after this week they have the Dolphins, and then the Lions, then the Browns, then the Ravens again. So is it possible? Yes, to still make the playoffs, but I'm not optimistic. I'm not hopeful, and it's just disappointing. And I talked about it before. Being mediocre does not get you anywhere, and just being in it. That's why this franchise is falling so far from grace of where you were years ago, and it's just getting very, very, very stale. And before I got out of here, I talked about got the Alex Highsmith injury. He's been banged up. Joey Porter Jr. went with the hip. Then you had Roger Jones. He's out for the year right now. No Patrick Queen. Derek Harmon didn't play. Just not things that we need right now. Darius Slade, I think he's done. We just A lot of moves he made this offseason weren't good. And real quick before I get out of here, we're going to talk about the Cam Hayward thing, because during the game, Cam Hayward and Josh Allen were going at it. I never seen Cam usually vividly this frustrated and upset. They were barking at each other through a couple quarters, and it comes out after the game. Cam Hayward pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing it, was saying how Josh Allen was kneeing him in his stomach, and he was saying pretty much quarterbacks are protected, but why can't he be protected? And I feel him and I understand him on that. So it's a thing to look at. The league may look into that. I don't know, but they were drawing at each other back and forth. But this team is 6-6, and it doesn't feel like a 6-6, and I'm not hopeful. So if they can win Sunday, cool. But it's just looking like it is going down. And this is not to say I don't love my team, but it's the reality of the moment right now. We are in the worst spot you can be for any sports franchise, and that's just in the middle of mediocrity. It doesn't get any better. I feel like we're just stuck right now, and there has to be something that's going to wake this franchise up, and some freshness and some explosiveness. Overhaul is what I'm calling for, and I think needs to happen. So hey, I appreciate all the love and support. Don't forget to like, love, subscribe, follow my channel, and follow me on Twitter at KeepingScore. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Tell a friend. I appreciate all the love and support. It's your boy Adrian, and I'm out. Peace.